Hey there, starting Pilates and wondering what gear you actually need? I'm excited to talk to you about this because there's some things that are essential and some things that are nice to have, but it can be really confusing out there. So let's talk about what you need and what you don't need.
Welcome to OnlinePilatesClasses.com, the most supportive Pilates-loving community across the globe. Enjoy new weekly classes from our amazing teachers. Download the OnlinePilatesClasses.com app today.
Hi, I'm Lesley Logan, co-founder of OnlinePilatesClasses.com, and I remember what it was like when I became obsessed with Pilates. I took my first class, and I was like, oh my God, I want to do this every day. But there was no resources on what to get started. There was a book, and I was taking my yoga mat to a class and then putting a yoga blanket down because it wasn't thick enough. And so I want to demystify, like, what do you essentially need, whether you're going to a studio or creating a practice at home? What are the tools and pieces of equipment that can fit a budget? It can fit any space. And also, hopefully this video is something you can return to as your space and budget allows, because as your practice continues to grow, I'm going to be honest, you're going to become obsessed with Pilates and you're going to want more. And I want to make sure that you know what the essentials are, because sometimes people get a little obsessed over one piece of equipment and forget that there's other pieces out there that will support their practice. Why use Pilates equipment anyways? Well, first of all, I think it's important to note that when I talk about the mat, I'm also seeing the mat Pilates as part of the system and as part of the equipment. And so if you're using a proper Pilates mat, one with handles and a strap, you're actually going to have a very supportive practice. But those are kind of heavy. They're not easy to take with you. We'll get more into that as we go through the videos and the equipment. A proper Pilates mat that's travel and roll up is actually going to make your Pilates practice more accessible, more supportive. It's going to feel so much better. Like I said earlier, when I used a yoga mat, it wasn't thick enough. So doing rolling like a ball and other exercises actually hurt my body to do. And Pilates is supposed to be low impact. It's not supposed to hurt. It's supposed to be a challenge, supposed to be possible. And so using proper equipment not only helps you have the benefits and the results you're looking for from Pilates, but also some equipment that I'm going to talk about today is going to help you make the mat more accessible. A lot of mat exercises are quite difficult from the very beginning. And so we often need to use the equipment to help us find exercises in our body so that we can go do it without the equipment. If you are new to Pilates, I would love for you to check out Mistakes to Avoid in your first Pilates class, because it's helpful. The more information you have, the more easy and friendly and familiar it's going to be when you show up for your first Pilates class. The top beginner-friendly equipment that I think every Pilates lover needs to have is a mat, magic circle, resistance bands, and a stability ball, or like a squishy ball. Let's get into a mat. So I would love everyone to invest in a mat for their home, because the more you can do Pilates, the more results you're going to get. In fact, Pilates works better when you do it 3 to 4 times a week. So the 𝐸𝐿ology mat is my absolute favorite. It is an investment, but if you are someone who's doing Pilates 3 or 4 times a week at home, you're going to love doing your mat here. That being said, if you can't do that, if that budget doesn't allow for that, then I want you to find a mat that's an 8 to 10 millimeter mat. You don't want it to be too squishy, because that's going to make it hard for you to stand on your hands, and it also might welcome a bendy spine. But you also don't want it to be so firm that you can't roll on it. So a nice 8 to 10 millimeter mat is going to allow you to do rolling like a ball, open leg rocker, other exercises, and hopefully you'll find one that's not too squishy so you can be in a plank on that. Magic circle. I, of course, love all the magic circles that Balanced Body makes. They have some classical ones that are made of metal rings. They also have some ones that have the band on the inside and the outside, the little pads there. These are essential because if you don't have the 𝐸𝐿ology mat with a strap, you can use a magic circle to help you turn on your outer hips and have that same access. Often in OPC, we'll say use a magic circle. If you don't have a strap, it's going to help you keep your legs down for your roll-ups. A squishy ball, some people call it a stability ball. I like the triad ball. It's purple. You can find it online anywhere. I like to take a little bit of air out, and I love to have people who are new to Pilates use it to help prop their head and chest up. So you'll see over here on our channel, we have some exercises using the ball. We even have it in our accessories flashcard deck, how to use the ball. It will help you get your head and chest curled up where it needs to be, because sometimes our backs are tight and we come up too high. Sometimes we're too low and then it's in our neck. So the ball is really, really helpful. And then resistance bands. I really like a heavier duty TheraBand. Something you can find one that's latex free, so don't worry about allergies, can be really helpful for helping you have an arm back connection, helping you get rid of any hip clicks. There's lots of ways you can use it in a mat practice that's going to help you get the connections you need for doing all the different exercises you want to. So those are going to be affordable and accessible pieces of equipment you could have at home, and they don't take up much space. Let's talk about the bigger piece of equipment, because you're going to see these in studios and they're often marketed to you as something that you should be doing. You should be doing reformer Pilates, and then you should have a reformer at your home. And they can take up a lot of space, and I do absolutely love the reformer. We'll talk about the Cadillac and Tower, Wonder Chair, and Ladder Barrel in this section. So let's get in the reformer, because again, that's the one that is being marketed like crazy and everyone wants to do reformer Pilates. I love my reformer. It's amazing. That being said, it's not the only way to do Pilates, and Joseph Pilates actually created the mat work first. And so when you are thinking of adding bigger equipment in, you actually want to be thinking about, what does your body need? What are your goals? All right. So the reformer kind of works as like a bread and butter to the mat, right? Or like peanut butter and jelly. They kind of go together. And so I like a reformer at home if you have the space. If you don't have the space, rather than finding one that kind of fits in an area, I would actually suggest that you go to a studio that has quality reformers and take a private session or classes there, and then invest in a mat workspace at your home. That's going to be really amazing and beneficial for you. But the reformer really, well, it's the name, it's a reformer, right? It kind of reforms your practice. So the shoulder blocks and foot bar and straps help close the chain so that your body with its asymmetries can actually find those balances, and it's going to make your mat work more possible and more challenging. The Cadillac is another, it's a huge piece of equipment. Often people get a tower. You'll see it's like a wall unit, which has all the parts of the Cadillac except for the trapeze. I love the Cadillac. It's here in our living room. It, to me, doesn't take up a lot of space at all, but obviously if you like to live in your living room, it totally does. But what is great about the Cadillac is, especially if you have any special needs, any chronic aches or pains, the Cadillac is something that's really going to help teach you the connections you need. It's a non-moving platform like the mat is, but it has springs just like the reformer does. So to me, it's a great place to put a beginner to learn a lot of the movements that we do in a Pilates practice, and has so much stability, so much support. I mean, the reformer is a big piece of equipment. I talk to teachers all the time. Like, if you look at this equipment, the bigger the platform, the bigger the size of equipment, the more support it's going to give you. As we get smaller and smaller pieces of equipment, the ones that take up less space, the more challenging it's going to be. So the Cadillac, while it does have advanced and super advanced exercises that go on it, it is really truly made for a beginner and intermediate practitioner. On the ladder barrel, this is something that people probably wouldn't think they would want in their home. I actually find it to be a really amazing tool to have at home, because if you do work at the desk job, if you do have kids or dogs, you're like constantly cuddling and hugging, if you're a runner, if you're doing all these things in a frontal plane, the ladder barrel is something that if you go over it every single day, you can reverse that tech neck, right? You can actually help realign your spine. It's amazing. It has so many different things you can do with it in 5-minute workout increments. And so if you are someone who's going to a studio for reformer and tower classes, you could do your mat and ladder barrel at home, and that's going to give you a really balanced system to work out with. And so I really love a ladder barrel. And lastly, the Wonder Chair. I mean, this was the first piece of home gym equipment. Let's be honest, like, that's what Joe did. He created these for his clients to take to the Hamptons with them. And it really can be used as a piece of furniture in your house. I will say, if you are someone who has balance issues, I really want to make sure that you are building yourself up to a Wonder Chair. But a Wonder Chair can be great for a beginner. Your workouts will be about 5 to 10 minutes. And as you advance in your practice, they will grow to 20 minutes and even 30 minutes. They're extremely challenging as they go, but they take up a lot less space. So if the money is an issue or space is an issue, what I would say is invest in a quality mat, Wonder Chair. Those things don't take up a lot of space, and price-wise, you can get the two of them for less than the cost of a reformer, right? So we have links for all of these things below. You can get our discount link as well, so make sure you're using our links to save a little bit of money on these things. I know there's a lot, when I say these things, you can look online, you'll see some for a few $100s. I will be really honest with you. If this is something you want to do for a lifetime, investing in a Contrology Wonder Chair, ladder barrel, spine corrector, which we didn't get into, doesn't take up a lot of space. It's like a ladder barrel. Those things don't take up a lot of space, and the price is really great, and they'll last you a lifetime, which is something that we want. If you want to dive even deeper on Pilates equipment for your home, we have a great video about all the different types of Pilates equipment you can use in your home. I go into much more detail about each piece of equipment. There are so many that Joe Pilates gave us. And if you have questions about which one's right for you, just drop in the comments below. How do you know what to choose what's right for you? Well, first, let's talk about your Pilates goals. Like, why are you doing Pilates? What are you wanting to get out of it, right? If you are wanting to really work on your posture and you have shoulders that come forward, we're going to want to talk about barrels, right? If you are actually wanting to work a bit more on coordination and control, we might want to be talking about a reformer or even the Cadillac. If you are someone who has chronic aches and pains, I'm definitely going to want to lead you to the Cadillac. If you're wanting something a bit more dynamic, a bit more challenging, something you want to work on your endurance, then we're going to talk about the one to chair and the reformer. So it really depends on what your goals are, and you can drop them below and then listen to these other two things I want you to think about. We can figure out what's right for you. So the next thing we have to actually look at is space. Right? If your ceilings are low, then a Cadillac might not be an option for you, but a reformer could be. A tower might actually work out for you, right? If your space is small, you might be thinking, well, I need to have stuff that can like go in this workout closet I have or under my bed. So there are some new home like folding reformers. There's even one that actually I quite like, and I've had people tell me is really amazing. It is more expensive than my reformer that does not go under the bed, but they're starting to make some better quality stuff. That being said, I still will stand by that a reformer that's under $1,000 might have some quality control issues that will, for long lasting stuff, we'd have to look at weight and abilities to modify it to make sure it fits for you. So I want to look at what is your space that you have, because we have to accommodate for that. I don't want it to be something that you never pull out, right? We've all bought the treadmill and then hung the clothes on it. So let's make sure that what you get fits your space and is something that you'll gravitate towards and use. The next thing would obviously be the budget. And here's where I will say, like, I love helping people find the right pieces of equipment. And yes, this can be an investment. Pilates equipment can range from $700 for a spine corrector to $7,000 for a Cadillac, right? So there's a big price difference in there. And what I love to work with people on is like, let's figure out what you exactly need, and then let's figure out what you have to save up for, because actually people like Balanced Body and Contrology, they will use an HSA account, right? So that could be something that you can use. We do have discount links for the equipment that they make. Some people might sell it used where you live, and then you can get exactly what you want for a better price. So I would say, first, talk about goals. Second, look at your space. And then third, let's look at your budget. And do we have to save up for it? Is there a way we can make payments so you get the right piece of equipment for what you want, so you can get the benefits you need and not have frustrations trying to make something fit what you're trying to do, because that's not going to be fun. I also have a free guide for you. It literally helps you understand what piece of equipment to get for the size of your space. So go to opc.me/home studio. And if you really want that reformer, then I have a great video for you where I compare different types of reformers and explain what you want to be looking for when you choose yours. So check it out. I'd love to know what you think would be right for you. What's going to keep you motivated? Are you someone who needs variety, or do you like ease of use? Drop it in the comments below. Let's get you started though. If you are new to Pilates, I would love for you to go to fullbodyin15.com. I actually break down the foundational mat exercises. So you're taking a workshop on how to do them right for your body and then putting them together in a workout that takes 15 minutes, a full body workout. So make sure you check that out, and I would love to hear how it goes for you. Next, if you are going to go into a studio, I want you to make sure that you're going to a studio that actually does prioritize beginners. Someone that is going to make sure that beginners have a safe space to learn and figure things out. If a studio just lets you jump into an all levels class, I am concerned, because there's a lot of different things that could go wrong. There's a lot of nuances you need to know. I don't want you to get hurt. I also don't want you to be confused. And I don't want you doing things outside of your level too soon where you start to feel like, oh, I'm not good at this. You don't actually have to be good at Pilates. You just have to do Pilates. And so finding a place where they make you do private sessions or take a beginner level class is going to be great. But you also don't have to go to a studio. You can also find a trusted online provider like OPC, onlinepilatesclasses.com. We actually have teachers and myself who will give you feedback on your form. We'll answer your questions in our community. It's a safe space for all bodies that come to Pilates. And we actually do believe that finishing is optional. So you can go to onlinepilatesclasses.com/YouTube to check us out and try us out. And look, sometimes we'll struggle with motivation. The reality is that motivation is a very fickle friend. And so we have an amazing video to help you when that happens. So check it out. Lastly, I wanted to say, don't go buying all these things at once. I don't know about you, but I'm someone who's like, I get excited about something and I'm like all in. With Pilates, just know that your practice is going to grow with you, and so can your equipment, right? You can start off with just a mat and a couple props. And then as you continue to go, you can start to add things in, because you might find that you love the mat, but you want to do a little 20 minutes on a spine corrector. if you were to buy everything at once, you start to feel the pressure to use it all the time. And it's impossible to be new and using all the equipment all the time, because you have to actually build your practice up, and you're going to need certain pieces of equipment more than others at certain times in your practice. And so I would love for you to just get started with the mat and then see what your body needs. I'm happy to answer those questions in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. It really means a lot to me that our videos can help you in your Pilates journey no matter where you're at. If you have questions, we go live on Sundays at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Join us anytime. We'll be answering your questions. If you are an OPC member, we actually do answer your questions inside the community, and we give feedback on form. Plus, our classes actually help hold you accountable so you can be consistent in this Pilates practice that you want. So check us out at onlinepilatesclasses.com/YouTube. Have an amazing day.